So I'm currently in the process of buying my first investment property, and it's not what I all the way expected. Well, to a certain degree, I knew I expected it, but in a sense, I didn't know it would be this kind of process. And throughout the process, I've learned a lot, of course, and just understanding like your due diligence, making sure you're doing all your inspections and so on and so forth. But basically, what ended up happening was that I was looking at this house. It was a single family home, and it was listed at a pretty good price. I was able to get it under contract for 144,000 some change or whatever. And I was like, all right, well, this is a great deal. It wasn't in a great appreciating market, but cash flow purposes, it was great. So you have to understand what kind of deal do you want, or what is your investment strategy? Are you looking for cash flow? Are you looking for appreciation? Or are you looking for a mix of both? With me personally, I'm looking for a mix of both, but I knew that with that deal in particular, I would just take the cash flow and reinvest those funds into a bigger deal or whatever the case may have been. But I know it would have been a lot harder for me to sell that property, or would have been on the market for a little bit longer than I needed to. So if I wanted to liquidate from it, it's going to take some time. So back to what I was saying. I look at the house. The house looks great. There's already a tenant in place. It was literally a great deal. So after that, I wanted to do an inspection report and make sure like basically if the home or the property was like in good condition to a certain degree. So I go through the inspection with the inspector or whatever. So I'm literally walking with him throughout the whole entire house as to what needs repairs, what needs attention, what needs to be totally fixed and replaced, and so on and so forth. So as he's walking me through this, we get to the basement. And when you get to the basement, foundation is one of the key elements that you want to look for to make sure it has a good structure and a good foundation. Now, I believe this home was built in maybe like between the 40s and 60s. So, I mean, obviously it's up there in age, but at the same time, like if it's well maintained and taken care of and it's in a good site, then foundation really won't be an issue. And every property is not going to be perfect. It's going to have its imperfections, but this is going to loop me to my point when I explain to you guys what happened. So basically the basement was getting inspected by the inspector, and basically the wall was kind of out of spec a little bit, maybe by like an inch or two. So then we had a foundation inspector look at the foundation of the property, and come to find out there needed to be $18,000 worth of work. So it was going to get re-beamed, whole new basement, whole new flooring, all of that shit. So all the stuff that was there was getting ripped out. And mind you, the stuff that was already there already looked like it was in good condition. When I went to go tour the house, it looked like it was great. It was already redone, so I was fine. The ducting for the furnace was good. It was all brand new. So basically what ended up happening was that the seller was like, oh, well, since this is $18,000, I'm gonna make you pay for it. I'm like, what? This has nothing to do with me. This is your problem. So basically I ended up pulling up from that deal. The seller was really reluctant to giving a better term or better negotiation. So I just totally walked away from the deal and said, fuck you. So then I look at a duplex this past weekend and come to realize it was a great property, renovated on the first floor. The upstairs could use some renovations, but it was great. The only thing is that the upstairs unit had a really small bedroom. It was probably about the size of like a dorm room. Like it wasn't big. It's probably like a 10 by 5. It wasn't big at all, had no closet. So it'd be great for like a 1-bedroom den. Had a great living space, had a great main bedroom, had a great kitchen. Everything was good. It just needed a rehab, redo cabinets, flooring, bathroom, just a light cosmetic rehab. And then I probably would have been able to get some solid rents out of it. But come to realize with the area, the offer that I had just wasn't good enough. So basically we're kind of back at square one, and I'm still looking. But I just say that to say is that even with the inspector looking at the house and telling me the foundation was bad, I spent what, $500 on an inspection. That $500 cost me saved me $18,000 on the back end. So I say that to say is like, you have to be willing to invest in yourself. Fuck the money. You'll always be able to make more money. As long as you believe in yourself and you invest in your skill set, money will always be there. They print money every fucking day. And there's some people that would be scared, like, oh, I don't think $500 should be an adequate enough money. Like, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know. Well, had you have bought in that property, you would have had an $18,000 repair on the back end for repairing the whole entire foundation. And you got people like me like, no, I don't want to deal with that. And then that's what makes the property even harder to sell. So you have to understand, like, these are just problems that are going to arise. And I mean, it just depends on what's contingent upon what the market is demanding. Like, if there's a high demand for duplexes in that certain market, you have to be able to underwrite and see, like, how much can I get rents for? Am I able to cover my debt service? Are there any significant repairs that need to be done? How does the curb appeal look? Is it, how old is the furnace? How old is the roof? How old is the hot water heaters, the boilers? All that stuff matters, because if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, that's when things go to shit. And that's why the reason, and that's the specific reason why people get out of real estate and they fucking hate it. Bro, anybody can make money off real estate. You really just have to understand what it is that you want from a specific asset and how to exploit that asset to be able to work in your favor. Now, obviously, every property is not going to be perfect. It's going to have its little quirks and things that may need repairs at some point, but foundation is something that you really can't just put on the back burner. Like, your foundation is very important, and depending on if you're in a flood zone or if you're in an area that has a lot of hurricanes or whatnot, or depending on where you guys live, like, those are things that you want to take in consideration. And even with all that being factored in, you may have higher insurance costs because of those things. So you have to make sure that when you're doing your due diligence and you're underwriting your deal, can you have rents justify your expense in your mortgage to be able to have you offset some of that money to use for reserves and have additional cash flow to invest in other assets and invest in other deals. So you just have to be willing to spend money to understand that everything's not going to be perfect, but those cheap inspection report for $500 was something that saved me $18,000 on the back end. So it's all about perspective. If you think that spending $500 on yourself is bad, that's just because you don't believe in yourself. I'm just going to be honest. You don't believe in yourself. You haven't been able to build trust within yourself to forego and persevere over a prolonged amount of time. And that's just a relationship you have with yourself. You have to understand, it starts with the little things. Do you get up at the same time each and every day? Do you hold the promises and commitments that you hold to yourself every day? Because those little things build up to opportunities like this. And when opportunities like this come about, I'm able to capitalize on them because I did those little things leading up to this process. And even a few years ago, I wasn't the most disciplined. I wasn't the most honorary person of my word or whatnot, but I knew who I wanted to be, and that person did those things and had those attributes that I wanted, so I started working on it. And at the end of the day, all this shit comes down to personal development. The moment you start working on you and become a better version of you, everything outside and externally will make your life will be better, inevitably. As long as you continue to put the daily actions in each and every day, then you can't lose. And as long as you know that you're not cheating yourself, that's all that matters. If you know you were able to put forth the effort and try to do it, then that's all that matters. It's just baby steps, day after day after day. As long as you show up, that's all that matters. Because I guarantee you, there's someone that quit today, you're gonna run laps around them. So just stay in the game, stay focused, do what you need to do on a daily basis, and figure out what it is that you want to do, and continue to capitalize on it each and every day. Yes, it's gonna be boring. You're gonna go through the motions each and every day, but I'm telling you, you will reap the reward on the back end, and you will really be able to do whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want, however the fuck you want, and motherfuckers can't tell you shit. Y'all know what y'all want. Y'all know exactly what y'all want. And if you don't know what you want, sit down with yourself and really figure out what it is that you want. What do you like to do? What do you want to do with your life? How do you want to make money? Why do you want to make money? Who do you want to take care of while you have the money? What do you want to buy with the money? Figure all that shit out and reverse engineer everything and figure out what little actionable steps I can do in order for me to make that shit a reality for myself. I literally read books to gain more knowledge, and not only that, just be a better communicator, learning new words, learning new perspectives and stuff like that. Like, all that shit is a compounding effect. And you realize the moment you just like Put your head down, work, look up. You're like, damn, I came a long way. Put your head down, work. You look up, damn, I done came a long way. And when you get to a point, and I remember my phase when I had that, and I still have those phases, but I remember my first moment where I really realized it. I was like, damn, like, the work I've been putting in is actually paying off dividends. I'm able to meet people. I know how to communicate. I know how to articulate myself. I know how to convey a message to someone that is able to understand what I'm trying to say. And all these little things add up, and it just is a momentum effect. The moment you start building that momentum, continue to capitalize on that momentum, because if you don't, everything around you just start to crumble. I'm telling you. So the moment you start this shit, you have to stay dedicated to this shit till you die. If you're gonna half-ass it, and you know you're gonna half-ass it, well, this shit is not meant for you. But for those of you that are listening and you know you want more, bro, just stay in the fucking game. That's all that matters. Stay in the game, continue to do the things. It's gonna be boring. Yes, it's gonna be hard, but picture the desired outcome. Think about it. You've built yourself up so much to be able to endure certain things that some of those little things that people find hard and challenges easy to you. And that's why you run laps around them. Just do this shit for the future version of you. Just do the things that you don't want to do right now. Do the things that you have to do the things that you want to do. And that's the video for today. Make sure you like, comment, and follow for more. And I'll see y'all in the next one.